All right, let's talk about the skeleton. I know. For a lot of people, just hearing that word brings up this image of a huge, intimidating mountain of bones with all these confusing names. If that sounds familiar, then you are in exactly the right place. We're going to tackle that mountain, but we're going to do it together, step by step, starting right from the beginning.
Yeah, does this feel a little too real? It's the classic trap, right? You open up an anatomy book, you see hundreds of labels just staring back at you, and your brain just, well, it goes into total overdrive. It's a recipe for burnout, not for actual learning. And I'm telling you right now, we are absolutely not doing that here.
So that leads to the big question. What if there's a better way? What if we could build a solid understanding, one that actually sticks, without all that frustration? Well, good news. There is a better way. And it all starts with a really simple shift in how we approach this whole thing.
Okay, so here it is. It all comes down to this one core idea. We're basically going to flip the traditional way of learning completely on its head. For now, just forget rote memorization. We're focusing on true understanding.
This is our guiding principle, our mantra. It's super simple. Understand first, memorize later. I like to think of it like a city map. You wouldn't try to memorize every single tiny street name before you even knew where the main highways were, would you? Of course not. We're going to build that big foundational understanding first, and then you'll see. The details will follow much more naturally.
And this right here, this captures the two paths perfectly. You've got the old way, which is just this giant mountain of memorization that, let's be honest, leads straight to frustration. But our new way, it's a clear path. We start with the big picture, we get the why, and then we build our knowledge step by step. That is the path to confidence.
All right, so let's actually put this into practice. The very first step in our Understand First method is to zoom all the way out. We are not looking at a single bone. Not yet. We're looking at the entire skeletal map.
Okay, here's our one big number for the day, 206. An adult human has 206 bones. Now don't let that number scare you. Seriously, we're about to make it feel so much more manageable, because we're not going to learn 206 individual things. No way. Instead, we're going to group them.
So, here's how we do it. Here's how we make that big number feel small. We split all 206 of those bones into just two main groups. That's it, just two. First up, you've got the axial skeleton. Think of it as the central axis of your body, your skull, your spine, your rib cage. Its main job, support and protection. Simple. Then you have the appendicular skeleton. These are your appendages, your limbs, and all the parts that attach them to your body, like your arms and your legs. And their job, that's all about movement and interacting with the world. And just like that, 206 bones become two simple, totally understandable ideas.
Okay, so we've got our two main groups. Now what? Well, now we can apply our next big principle, which is all about asking why before we ask what. Seriously, understanding a bone's function, its job, is the absolute key to making this stuff stick. What is it for? Why is it even there? I mean, just look at how intuitive this becomes. The skull, it's not just a bone, it's a helmet. It's protecting the most important computer you own, your brain. And the spine isn't just a stack of vertebrae, it's the central pillar holding your whole body up. The rib cage is literally a shield for your heart and lungs, your most vital organs. And your limbs? They're the tools that let you move and interact with the world. See, when you think of it like this, anatomy stops being a list of words and starts telling a story.
So there we have it. We've got our foundation, the big picture, and the function, the why. So what's the long-term plan? How do we get from this high-level view to being truly confident with all the little details?
The key is all about layering the information. We don't just dump a bucket of details on our heads all at once. Think about it. Once you really get that the skull's job is to protect the brain, then it makes sense to learn about the different parts, like the cranium and the facial bones. Once you know the spine is for support, then you can start looking at the different types of vertebrae. See? Every new detail has a logical place to go because that foundation is already solid.
And our approach on this journey is always going to be the same. We're going to use short, focused explainers. We'll use simple drawings and diagrams that are meant to clarify, not confuse. And maybe most importantly, we're going to connect everything back to real-world examples, that crucial why it matters part, because that's what transforms learning from a chore into something genuinely fascinating.
So here's the big takeaway from all this. The skeleton, it's really your first major step into the world of anatomy. If you can master it using this understand first method, you'll build this incredibly powerful framework that makes every other system you learn down the road feel so much more intuitive, so much more accessible. Trust me, you can do this.